Systems thinking offers greater payoffs than discipline-specific principles because it helps you identify which domain to focus on in the first place. It doesn't make sense, for example, to invest heavily in customer experience improvements if your brand is invisible. People can't have an experience with you if they don't know you exist. Domain-specific skills only offer big payoffs if that domain is a significant performance constraint. Systems thinking also reduces unnecessary risk by illuminating the broader consequences of decisions. If the domino effect of cost-cutting is to lower quality, for example, you end up with inferior products. With inferior products, the brand is likely to suffer, and customers will defect to rivals. Effectively, you have cost-cut your way into less profit, an undesirable outcome. This makes intuitive sense to most people, or may even seem obvious, but common sense and common practice are not the same thing. Improving one aspect of a business at the expense of another happens regularly, and is the underlying cause of many business catastrophes. The vacuum cleaner manufacturer Hoover, for example, once ran a promotion in the UK offering 2 return flights to the US with every purchase over £100. As a solution to a particular challenge, it proved very successful. A stampede of sales ensued. In systems terms, however, it was a disaster. The offer hadn't been properly costed and turned out to be prohibitively expensive to honour. When Hoover tried to backtrack, the resultant scandal caused huge reputational damage. Their ill-conceived marketing stunt became a financial and PR disaster, and some of Hoover's senior executives lost their jobs as a result. What I thought was needed was a way to visualize a business as an interconnected whole, a tool or model that could help teams pinpoint performance constraints, collaborate more effectively across specialisms, and minimize the latent risks in their decisions. And as I clung to my childhood belief that there must be an underlying logic to the world, I arrived at an exciting hypothesis. Not only is a business a system, every business must be the same kind of system. The underlying factors that determine success must be the same regardless of the business in question, I reasoned, even if their individual configurations are different. So if we could identify a comprehensive but manageable set of these factors and present them on a single page, we could consider how a decision might affect all of them, not just one or two. We could also work through the list to identify the real constraints to performance and sense-check ideas for new projects or ventures. My mind caught fire at the prospect, but if I'd known what I was in for, I'd have reached for the nearest extinguisher. 5 years, 370,000 words of notes, and 82 iterations later, I finally had a solution that fitted the brief, presented in my second book, The Grid, the master model behind business success. The book is in 2 parts. The first explains the need for a systems thinking approach, introducing the model and how to use it in practice. The second provides a comprehensive primer on each of the elements included within the model, from pricing and regulation to protecting intellectual property, brand building and retention strategies, arming the reader with both a comprehensive understanding of how a business works as an interconnected whole and an appreciation of all the parts that must come together. But while the feedback from readers and experts alike continues to be overwhelmingly positive, many have described it as the most useful book on strategy and decision-making they've read, my euphoria was short-lived. From consulting engagements and training workshops, a pattern soon emerged. There was something about the apparent obviousness of the factors in the model, combined with how often they were overlooked, that made using the grid an uncomfortable experience for some. On most occasions, when the logic of the grid showed that an idea was unlikely to succeed, the model was abandoned, not the idea. Founders refused to alter their vision. Projects would be finished because they had been started, and insights that could have improved the odds of success were either wholly or selectively suppressed to suit the organizational politics at play. Our consulting engagements, we came to realize, were less about adding value than adding validation. Companies commissioned our analysis to defend hypotheses rather than test them, and data was cherry-picked or manipulated to support rather than inform a narrative. I had always assumed that people wanted their businesses or projects to succeed. What I found instead was subtly different. People wanted to succeed, but on their own terms.